Are you still using regular VMs instead of Cloud-Init? Well, I'm here to save your Homelab disk space, but it's not only that. You see, Cloud-Init VMs also let you configure it all the same way, but you actually have to configure it only once, and then the same settings will be applied to all of them. So let's jump straight into action. We're not wasting time around here, right? For this example, I'm going to be using Ubuntu Cloud Images. At this moment, the latest one is Noble, so that's what I'm going to be using. So you go to the website. I'm going to leave the link in the description as well. Once you're here, you want to grab the latest image that's available right now. For me, that's 1106. From all of these files, you want to grab the IMG one for your architecture. So if you're using x64 VMs, you want to grab the IMD64 one. You need to grab the link from here and go to your Proxmox install. Just do the wget command with the link that you just copied. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to be re-downloading it. Once it's downloaded, my first recommendation is that you should resize the cloud image because it's pretty small and you're not going to have pretty much any fun with limited disk space. I'm going to leave all of the commands needed for this process in description as well. So the first command is img resize img file you just downloaded and plus 10G for my example, but if you want to have more disk space, you can sure go with it. Once the image is resized, next thing you want to do is create a VM. So with this command, we're creating a new VM with the ID 4000, assigning it the 4 gigs of RAM, 4 cores, and naming it Cloud-Init. Also, we are attaching network with VMBR0. Once you execute this command, you're going to see that 4000 ID appears in your left sidebar, and you don't want to launch this VM yet. So the next thing is to actually import the downloaded IMG file into our storage. And I'm going to be using local LVM, but if you're going to use any other storage than local LVM, you can sure do. Once the disk is imported, we want to attach it to a SCSI controller and make sure that if you're using any other storage than local LVM, you also need to swap out the name in this command as well. Just make sure that you are importing the disk 0. So if you go to VM 4000 right now and go to hardware, you can actually see that all of our settings have been applied. We see the disk on SCSI 0, we have 4 gigs of RAM and we have 4 cores, but we're not done yet. The next thing to do is to actually add the Cloud-Init drive to this VM. After it's been done, we want to make it bootable and make sure that system only boots to that Cloud-Init drive. And the last thing we're going to be doing is adding a serial console, because if you want to have any interaction with this VM through the VNC, that's what you're going to need. Also, before we go any further, I will soon have a website available that will have all the write-ups for the videos with all the scripts attached and all the things that you might need to configure your VMs. After it's been done, you can go to this machine and go to Cloud-Init section and actually configure your Cloud-Init template. So for example, the user I want to log in with will be TOS. Then the password you want to have for this account. You can also import your SSH key in here to not log in through using password. And the latest thing you want to do is configure your network. And for now, I'm going to be going with HTTP, but you can also use static as well. And once it's done, you go with regenerate image, right click the VM and convert to template. Once it's converted, you can actually press right click again and clone. The name for my VM is going to be test cloud, for example. And we have actually two modes, linked clone and full clone. What these do is that full clone works through fully cloning your VM template, including the storage into the separate one as well, while linked clone is still linked to the old image and you can't really delete it before deleting all of the VMs that are attached to this template. My recommendation is that go with full clone if you are not limited by resources. For the target storage, you can go with any other storage that you have in your system or use the same as source. Right now, I'm going to use the same as source. Now we're waiting for this machine to clone. You can actually double click the task and see when it will be done. Once it's done, you can actually go into your console and start the VM. You're going to see that it's starting serial terminal. So it's booting from Cloud-Init drive and it's going to be booting pretty fast. You can see also that Cloud-Init, before actually letting us log into the system, it's updating all the packages and the system is ready to use. You can actually log into it now and use it as you need. One another thing is that if you didn't apply the SSH key in configuration, you can't actually log in through SSH with using your password. So you need to go to SSH config and enable password authentication if you need it. You're gonna see one file that's 60 cloud image settings, and that's actually where it's enabled. You can see that it's password authentication no right now, and I forgot to go with sudo. To delete no, you type in yes, quitted, and then you need to restart the SSH as well. And now you can log into your server using password. So let's check it out. Now if we try to connect with SSH, should be fine. And you're here. SSH is working brilliantly. At this moment, you can do pretty much all you want. So that's actually it for today. You can now configure your VMs the same way that cloud providers do this. And if you have any questions, make sure to write them down in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.